Okay, it's early in the morning and I decided to do some testing on the effects of tilt. What your tilting is on a solar panel. So right now we got 34.7 volts and the panel is at a 5-degree, pretty much flat. I'm going to lift it up and we'll see what the effect is early in the morning. Okay, look at that. We got up to 36 volts. Alright. Now, let's check the amperage, the effects on the amperage. I did this earlier and blew a fuse in this thing. So we put our meter to 20 amps. We have to switch this to the 20 amp side and hook it up. And early in the morning we're getting, what are we getting? 0.39 amps? Wow. That's not much. So let's tilt it up and see what changes. Hey, look at that. 0.96, almost 1 amp. That's almost 3 times. So tilting has a huge effect on your solar output, apparently. At least early in the morning. Now, I'm going to test it again at noon, and we'll see what the difference is then. Okay, it's a little bit later in the morning, and we have 35 volts at the 5-degree angle, which is basically flat. Now let's tilt it up and see what changes to the voltage happen. And not much change in voltage. Okay, that's about maybe a 30-degree angle. Now let's see what happens to the amperage. And disconnect it. Move this to 20 amps, DC. And plug this one into here. You know what one of my pet peeves is? People making questions out of statements. It just drives me nuts, and it's such an easy thing to pick up, and I know I do it. And I really have to concentrate to not take a statement and turn it into a fucking question. Hi, babies. Look at my babies. You know what that is? It's a verbal virus. I don't know when it started. Somebody said it started in Australia. But it's infected the whole world. Just look at even politicians are doing it now. I'm not sure if Trump is or not, but it's really insidious. Alright, so we got 2.72 amps now. It's about, what time is it? Almost 9 o'clock. It's still early. And this is flat, so let's see what happens when we raise it. See that? Okay, now we raise it, and look at that. Almost 4.5 amps at the raise. So, tilt makes a big fucking difference. Alright, that's it. I'm going to do one more test at noon, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's play around with this tilt thing again a little bit. Okay, right now with it laying down at 5 degrees, I got 34.4 volts. Now I'm going to tilt it up. Okay, tilt it up to about where I was going to have it, and we're up to 35.1. If I tilt it a little bit more, where I'm actually pointed at the sun, well, we're looking at 35 volts, okay? So let's write that down. 35, well, actually 34.2 down, and 35 tilted. Now, let's look at the amperage. Okay, we move this down to 20 amps. We move this to the 20 amp thing, and we hook it up. Ooh, it sparked a little bit. Okay, when it's down at 5 degrees, we got 4.4 amps. Okay. Now if I tilt it up, Look at that, 6.75, 6.76. If I tilt it up even more to where it's actually pointing at the sun, 7.34 amps. So that's our max that I can get right now. 7.34. And what kind of wattage is that, pray tell? Alright, so my little calculator here, where is it? 35 times 7.34. 256 watts. Voltage times amperage is actually 256.9. So anyway, that's tilt and the advantages of it. Okay, here's the difference. We have 34 volts at 4.4 amps, about 150 watts. And when we tilt it, we end up to 35 volts and 7.34 amps to 256 watts. So that's 100 more watts just by virtue of tilting the panel up to face the sun better. Now, when I designed this, I was basically looking at summertime here in the desert. So I didn't care. I wanted them to lay down. In the summertime, these are going to be pointed right at the sun. But in the wintertime, I'm going to tilt this one up, and I'm going to tilt this end one up. And because they're so close together, I can't tilt the other ones up, or they'll shade these front ones. So the only two I can tilt up is these end ones. And that's what I'm going to be doing for all my next ones. And I'll get a lot more voltage, a lot more wattage out of these babies. Alright, that's it.